Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. I am Demetra K of the Demetra K Show, and I hope again you are having a great day. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my wonderful moderators for all that you do in holding down the comment section. I see a few of you here already, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about a civil rights attorney blaming Black male voters, young Black male voters, for Trump's white supremacist agenda against us, I guess. And so I'm going to show y'all the video. Of course, you guys, a lot of you have seen him before, the defiant lawyer, Augustus Corbett. I think that's how you say his last name. So he's going to give us his reasons as to why and all this other stuff. And then surely we will talk about it. But in the meantime, let's see who is on here while we're waiting for everybody else to show up. Dear self, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And say that's a lie. Our people will have Martians believe white supremacists start with Trump. That's funny. Shan, how you doing? Hope you're well. He says, I'm so happy to hear from you, and I'm so happy that you are here. Mike Nice, how are you today? And one who cares, hope you're doing well. Jersey Rick, what's going on? Troy and James X-Ray, how you doing? Oh, thank you, thank you. And Beverly White. And Brother Stephen, how you doing? Tell your wife I said hello. Yes, you caught up with us and you're on time. Look at that. So anyway, again, as we're waiting, S. Williams, how you doing? Join me tomorrow also on the African Diaspora News Channel at 11 a.m. Central Time, as I will be there for half an hour. I'm starting to do live shows there. So we're just going to do the same thing that we do here over there, but in 30-minute time span, right? So I always enjoy having a conversation with you all as often as I can. Hey, LaMonica, how you doing? I hope that you're having a great day. I know here it's starting to cool off. It wasn't too hot today, although I did sweat a little bit. Y'all know I sweat a lot, but it's starting to cool off. So thank God. John, how you doing? I hope that you are well. So we'll give about another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll jump right into it, because y'all know it goes by really, really fast. Trying to think. Oh, the other thing is, if you haven't already gotten the African Diaspora News Channel app, please do so. You can get that on your Play Store on your phone. Download the app, as we need as many subscribers over there as possible, because we know that they're doing some pretty funky things here on all platforms that are not owned by us. So the ones that we own, those are the ones that we want to be a part of, because they can turn the lights out on this anytime they want to, and then what, right? Then we'll be talking about, where is the new Black media, which a lot of people really do not want us to be up and running. And this particular man, the defiant lawyer, I think he's kind of one of them. He'll say some things that allude to that. So who else do we have on here? And then I'm gonna get started. William, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albie Chill, One Unique Monique, Renee, Brother Easy E in the building. Doug, how you doing? Flint Water, how you doing? Says, blaming the white supremacist action on Black men. I'm all ears. Well, you're gonna hear it yourself. LaMonica said, my day is great and about to get off work. I know that's right. Sister Sunlight, how are you doing? All right, I've tap danced long enough. Let's go ahead and get into it. So as I was scrolling on social media, I came across a defiant lawyer. As I do not follow him, but sometimes I see people post certain things. How you doing, Panther Strike? Certain things are from him, and this one seems like it's kind of taken off a little bit. So he's basically having an admonishment for Black people in general that voted for Trump, but he singles out young Black males who voted for Trump, and he's got a laundry list of things for their parents to do, I guess, to educate them properly on what to do and not to do when it comes to voting. So y'all ready? Here we go.
Parents with teenage children, please listen up. I have a message just for you. More than 2 million African Americans voted for Trump, and that's a major reason why we're in the mess we're in today under this white supremacist agenda. Many of those votes came from young Black men ages 18 to 27. And if you're like me, you're asking, why would they vote for Trump despite his racism? And here's the answer: because of disinformation, which are lies designed to mislead our community, especially our youth. And much of it is coming from Trump, MAGA, and what I call pro-Black imposters on social media. These pro-Black imposters pretend to have our best interests at heart, but they're really working against us. That's why every parent of Black teenagers has a moral obligation to teach their teenage children 5 lessons. First, teach them that every founder of this nation was a white supremacist who believed God cursed us and created us inferior. Second, then teach your children, your teenagers especially, that those white supremacists wrote the Constitution itself with white supremacy laws to keep white supremacists in power and black people oppressed and powerless. Third, white supremacists and their pro-black imposter allies prey on ignorance. They target low information voters. Fourth, the best defense against this is critical thinking. And that requires education, strong reading skills, and a deep understanding of the black struggle for equality from Africa to America. Fifth, tell your children, and you keep in mind, don't rely on the school system alone. Teach your children to be ferocious readers, to study experts and scholars, not social media influences with no real expertise and scholarship in the black struggle. And most importantly, tell them to study the Bible because it shows how another marginalized group, the Jews, overcame slavery and centuries of violence, hatred, and bigotry. And remember what Frederick Douglass said, you cannot enslave an educated person. So parents, teach your children these truths because our freedom and that of our children depend on it. And remember, stay woke.
Let me remove him. So anyway, just to kind of reiterate what he said, he basically said that young men between the ages of 18 and 27 voted for Trump. And 2 million black voters, which is true, 2 million black voters did. And yes, there were more young black male voters that voted for Trump this time, but it wasn't really enough to make a difference at all. There's a gnat in here that likes me for whatever reason. Anyway, it wasn't enough to really make a difference, right? Because most black men that could vote and black women voted for who? Kamala, right? Now, was there a progression of more black people voting for Trump? Yes, from 2016, I think he had like 13%, 2020 he had 18, and then 2024 about 18, give or take, right? A little bit more than that. So yeah, it was a progression. But again, there wasn't enough young black male voters to say, hey, we're the deciding factor to get Trump into office. And then, of course, he says that basically because of the white supremacist agenda that Trump and them have, also young black male voters and black voters in general, I guess, have a part to play in that. It's so small, even to the point of if those young black men did not vote for Trump, he probably still would have got in office. So it's disingenuous. But of course, he says some of those things. Reasons why those young men voted for Trump is because of disinformation. Of course, he said from MAGA in them. And then, of course, he listed, I guess we're pro-black imposter. So basically saying that we're not really pro-black because and I guess he's accusing us. And I'll be honest with you, I was very vocal about I'm not voting for Kamala, and I listed a whole host of reasons. So yeah, you can put me in there, but I don't know if I'm an imposter. I think we, for the most part, was waking people up and saying, hey, you know, what have the Democrats done for us lately, right? Janet Jackson style. So he didn't like that. But then he had 5 talking points, and one of them was that to remind your sons that the founders of America were white supremacists, all of them, right? And it's like the founders and all of the ones that's in the White House now, and it was in the White House last time. Joe Biden did not like black people, right? And Kamala, she wasn't too crazy about black people either because her policy said that she wasn't. Right. And we've talked about that a whole host of times. But yeah, the founders were white supremacists, but they still are. OK, Joe Biden was a Dixiecrat. Anyway, he also says that the laws that they put in, the laws, the Constitution is not favorable to black Americans at all. Right. They said the Constitution that matters to us kind of sort of is the 13th, 14th and 15th Amendment that has to do with the rights to vote and, you know, whether you were a citizen or not, and slavery being abolished except for by the prison system. And you know who's in there the most. That's us. And he also said that white supremacists and I guess MAGA and pro-black imposters, we're working together to keep them fooled and misinformed and things like that. And it's like, really, sir? Then, of course, he says, and I agree with this, I think you should teach your children to be critical thinkers, right? He says read and things like that. Yes. Teach them to do all that. And also to be able to read and decipher the lies and things that come from his side of the aisle as well, right? Because he's a staunch Democrat and all that. He's a civil rights attorney. And then he says the school system, do not rely on the school system, which is kind of a new talking point from them. Because, you know, they were the main ones that were whining and crying about the books and stuff and the curriculums of African-American curriculums being taken out of schools. And now all of a sudden they're saying, well, don't rely on the school system. Then lastly, he says to read the Bible. Well, the Bible talks about being wise and a whole host of other things, basically saying do not continue to, make the same mistakes. And I went and looked up a Bible scripture because I don't know them all. And it's Proverbs 26:11. It says, like a dog that returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their foolishness. It says this vivid image illustrates the senselessness of repeating past mistakes. So with that, you want to tell your black sons, hey, don't continue voting for the Democrats who do nothing for you, who participate in the benign neglect of black people, always have and always will. Now, I'm not saying that the Republicans don't do it, but the Republicans never really full on courted the black vote. They just never have. They did a little bit during Trump's presidency, but I think that Mr. Defiant lawyer, attorney, whatever his name is, Mr. Augustus, what he also needs to talk about is why those so-called black men that put the white supremacist agenda into effect did not vote for Kamala, because in short, they felt politically homeless. Again, we know that the Republicans were not doing nothing for black people, but the Democrat Party says that they're the party of black people. Have they not? The Democrat Party benefits the most from black voters. Democrats cannot get in office without the black vote. So we show up for them. And in fact, even with Kamala, 92% of black women voters, the 92%, right? They showed up for Kamala, and about 78% of black male voters showed up for Kamala. So even with that, black men still showed up for her the most. But, black men especially felt disenfranchised because, the Democrat Party, they call black women what? They call them the backbone of the Democrat Party. If it wasn't for black women, we wouldn't be A, B, C, and D. But the black man voted right behind the black woman. So how is it that the black woman keeps getting a pat on the back? So black men, they started listening to some of the stuff Trump was saying, and most of them said, hey, I'm voting for the money, right? Whether that's a fair assessment or not, but that was their reason. I'm voting for the money. And then if y'all think I'm lying and Mr. Corbett thinks that I'm lying, well, then why did Kamala come up with the black man plan at the last minute? Did she not? She came up with the black man plan and was going to help black men get into, business, and it was going to be able to do some marijuana, then some marijuana, this, whatever it was, right? But that black man plan also said black men and others. So there she was with the foolishness again, thinking, oh, well, those black men aren't going to read that. They'll just gloss right over that because I'll get Barack Obama out there and admonish them and kick them in the tailbone and tell them how dare you, this is a black woman and there. And then, I get Van Jones. Oh, she wrote a love letter to us, just black men, especially black men and others, right? So when I hear people like Mr. Corbett there, Attorney Corbett, I should say those things to young black men as if they are stupid, right? And then offensive to pro-black media because we're pro-black, right? When I hear him say those things, it's like, and then I'm going to get to the last thing he said because y'all heard it too. But when I hear him say those things, it's like you're being disingenuous. And why are you doing that? Also, it illustrates as to why the Democrats probably will have a hard time unless they, have a come to Jesus moment about black people. But lastly, he mentioned the Jewish community, right? He was like, oh, like the oppressed Jewish community, this, that, and the other. I'm like, why would you mention them? Why would you mention them in relation to us? Because we don't have the same plight as the Jewish community. We do not. Yeah, I know they went through a Holocaust and things like that, but it still does not equate to what we went through here in slavery, right? Not diminishing what they went through, but why is he correlating our thing with them? Well, of course, y'all might have heard that not too long ago, Bibi Netanyahu was having a talk with a lot of influencers, and it is said, I'm going to say allegedly, that a lot of influencers are being paid a lot of money to be, pro-Israel, whatever. I don't know if that particular guy, Defiant lawyer, is getting some money, but I sure found that to be weird that he would mention that. But in short, young black male voters are not responsible for Trump's white supremacist agenda. Is there a white supremacist agenda? Yeah, I would concede that. But to blame them for that and to say, hey, parents, get your ignorant little kids and you get them in line. And I'm going to get in the comment section after this. So, yes, it was about 2 million black people or black voters that voted for Trump. So if y'all can hear between the lines and what he said, what he was basically saying is everybody should have voted for Kamala. How dare you 2 million people vote for Trump? Everybody should have voted for Kamala. because every black is supposed to vote for Kamala, and that every black didn't vote for Kamala. Something wrong with you. We're going to disinvite you to Thanksgiving and all this other stuff. But it's like, again, the Democrats were the party of democracy is in danger. Were they not? That was their battle cry. Democracy is in danger, but yet they want to rob you of yours. Now, we know black people ain't never had no democracy here in America, but there they are pretending that you do, but then at the same time telling you that if you were one of the 2 million people that voted for Trump, how dare you? You're being led astray, bamboozled, hoodwinked, and everything else, right? So basically what he's saying is, listen to me, listen to Roland, listen to Joy, and all these other people who have nothing to offer you, just like the Democrat Party. Listen to us. Anything else is foolishness, is what he's saying. So anyway, let me get into the comment section. Thank you for bearing with me here. Who else showed up while I was talking? I started sweating already. Lord have mercy. Let's see. Flint Water says, blaming the white supremacist action on black men. Okay, I read that. I'm all ears. And then Panther Striker says, hey, Queen Demetria, FBA family, we will never again vote for the benign neglect. There you go. Because that's what it was. But they never want to talk about that for some reason. William says, yeah, it says 10 something. Oh, I think he meant Trump is good and he makes rules. So I don't know exactly. I think your comment probably got jumbled a little bit. So forgive me. I don't want to misread that. Kevin, how you doing? Alice, what's going on with you? Says, oh, that guy. Yeah, he's a mess. He really is. And it's like, to me, it's very insulting that he talks to black people that way, right? You get your sons and you tell them that they need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And you read the Bible. And it's like, okay, yeah, have them read the Bible. But do you want them to read the part of the Bible that Nat Turner read? Because, see, he was on the plantation. And we want to go to modern day time. We could talk about a Democratic plantation. And when Nat Turner read that Bible, he was like, oh, I don't want to be on this plantation no more. In fact, come over here, y'all. I got a plan. Because I don't like what I read in that Bible. The stuff that they've been hiding from us, and they was, not having me teach you. I didn't like that. So, Mr. Attorney, let's keep it a buck. Do you really want them to read the Bible, or do you want them to cherry pick and read the stuff you want them to read? Trina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albert Chill says, can't stand this dude. He needs to be out there like Ed Bloom instead of wagging his plantation media finger at us. Right. Again, listen to me and me only. Lance say, how you doing? Says, so Kamala was supposed to be better. Of course. In their opinion, yes, she was supposed to be better. She was supposed to, become the presidential nominee. But again, she was not talking about doing anything of value for Black Americans at all. Was she going to stave off what Trump is doing or may or may not be doing to Black people? Maybe. But that was going to be about it, right? She was still going to go about the business of taking care of everybody else and neglecting Black people. So we wouldn't have gotten anything from Kamala at all. One Unique Monique says, is it just the same lawyer who said Black Americans can be deported? Yeah, he was on that y'all next type of stuff. And, it's scare tactics. I don't know what's in it for them. I can speculate what's in it for them to keep trying to freak Black people out. But yeah, we ain't falling for it. Diane, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Beverly says, if you don't vote for me, then you're not Black. Now, who said that, right? That was Joe Biden to Charlemagne the God. Crazy, right? Yeah, Lance, he said something about Africa. Panther Strike says, no matter who we have voted for, that party has yet to deliver tangibles, no vote. There you go. Brother Damon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. DSB, what's going on? Long time no see. He says he talks like the Democrats aren't racist either, man. If you don't get the hell up out of here. Yeah, but they don't think the Democrats are racist. And I get it. And, they don't like Trump and the Republicans and some things they're doing. I don't like everything that they're doing either. In fact, I don't like most of the things they're doing, but it's not enough for me to go and vote for the Democrats. Well, so we go vote for the Democrats who says, well, no, Black people, we're not going to do anything for you. Even right now to this day, a lot of the Democrats are crashing out about the illegal immigrants that are being, deported and all this other stuff, and not hardly a peep about Black Americans at all. And Black Americans have something going on with us all the time. And they're dying on the hill of illegal immigration. So even with that, it's like, why should, a lot of us, I don't see what the difference would be, honestly. He says, yes, he said the Jews overcame. Yes, he's exactly what he said. So that's why I'm like, what does that have to do with us? Why would you mention that? See, that kind of stuff be having my spidey senses, going off. The Monica says, this man, please. William says, Kamala is Vichy. Why? Jasmine Crockett? I don't know. Okay. Easy says he sounds like yes, like somebody said, how much will it take? You know what I mean? And William says Kamala doesn't like black men. Why? I don't know. I don't know if she doesn't like black men, but she ain't gonna do nothing that's gonna be helpful for black men. Now. Carrie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sinji Blue, what's going on? Says basically he's this guy from the Defiant Lawyers is calling us bots and saying that we must vote blue no matter who. He's blaming black voters for Trump, but not whites and others. Because they feel like, and that's the boule class, right? This is the upper echelon of black people who this, that, and the other. They still feel like they need to have a control over the rest of us. Listen, you listen to me and you do what I say do, right? Because we've been told from a very long time ago that we rule over y'all. Y'all get y'all marching orders from us, even though we get our marching orders from somebody else, white supremacy. So yeah, they ain't gonna blame everybody else. They know better, because those same people that they can't blame, tell them, hey, y'all get out there and y'all talk to black people because we need them back on the plantation. So they know better. They know better not to say nothing about white folks. They might a little bit. They feel comfortable taking Trump to task, but it really ain't gonna go no further than that, to be honest with you. DSB says he basically said vote blue no matter who. Yeah, right. Exactly. Let's see who else is on here. Flint Water says that guy is a shield of shields. He's one of those vote Democrats no matter what. Yep. Albie Chill says he and those with the mindset are why we are where we are. Honestly, they refuse to see the issue their party creates, but want to convince us their massa ice is colder. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And you foolish for not listening to them. It really is a thing of y'all need to listen to us. Don't listen to those other people who are really trying to wake you up. And then he says, stay woke. At the end of his thing is like, no, you really don't want people to stay woke. You want them to stay asleep and listen to you give them their marching orders. Keep voting for nothing. Keep expecting nothing from the Democrats. And a lot of them too don't think that we should be asking for reparations. Just take what you could get. But your job as black voters is to keep the Republicans out of office at all costs. That's really what it is, right? Coach B, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kevin says that sounds just like Van Jones being a sellout to his own people and party. He was on Real Time with Bill Maher. He's in the doghouse now for mocking the death of Palestinian children. Yes, I saw that. I was like, dude, what? HDLC, how you doing? Raymond, what's going on with you? Says much love to all of you kings and queens of the universe. Back at you. Kira, how you doing? Hope that you are well. Lauren, how you doing? Says, I will lose my mind if rogue judges, quote unquote, won't allow Trump to turn our cities into permanent war zones. Like most cities, Portland generates more than half of the state's tax revenue. It must go. So are you basically saying that you're for Trump sending the National Guards into Portland, which it sounds like now judges, and especially some judges that he's appointed, is blocking his administration from doing that. They're saying that it's illegal to do so. It's getting very interesting. But yeah, he definitely wants to send them into Portland. And from a lot of people in Portland, they're saying it ain't really all of that. It's some areas, but it's not to where it would warrant that. So it's getting very interesting. You also say most Americans are struggling. Unemployment keeps rising. Nothing's cheaper. Every jobs report gets worse. Bankrupt farms, layoffs. The value of the U.S. dollar has dropped more than 11% in 2025. Yep, you're absolutely right. Things are starting to get really bad. So we have to be prepared for that. Will it get worse? Probably. More than likely, right? DSB says Democrats hate black men. They don't like the black woman either. They just play our sisters. Yeah, because black women, I'm saying collectively that vote for the Democrats, they like that pat on the head. Good job. You're the backbone. Look at you. You go, girl. Look at you saving the Democrat Party so we can go save everybody else and leave you the most homeless and do nothing for your children and your man. You go, girl. They like that, you know. Javon, how you doing? It says love letter from Mamala. Okay, that's what he said. You know, Mamala? That's Kamala, your Mamala? Knock it off, Van. That was crazy and cringy. Sherry, how you doing? Says it was truly offensive. It was like black men are stupid and dumb, and they're going to do whatever the Democrat Party tells them. It was so disrespectful. It really was. It was. You know, like, here, give them something. Give them something, and maybe that'll do it, right? Brother Reggie, did I say hello to you? If not, hello, hello. He says, I cannot stand his old cranky. Easy says, because AIPAC is in his pockets. I didn't know. I got questions. I have questions. Kara says, if a fetch was a person, everybody let me introduce you to y'all. Command me. You know what? Brother Damon says, we have a November 4th vote in California. State measure 50. Yeah, there's one out here, kind of the same thing for the redistricting, a thing like that. If I think that's what that is about the redistricting. So there's one out here. So yeah, show up to vote for that, you know. Whatever elections you have, state and local, are very important. Vote on those things. So let me skip down a little bit so I can catch up. Don't want to be too behind. Moving silence. How you doing? Says, I voted for Trump. No more elections in midterms, even what in 2028. I don't want another holiday and hope they don't expect my vote. I don't give to get nothing. I mean, I agree with you. I don't give to get anything either. But unfortunately, a lot of us have been doing that. But you're absolutely right. Now, as far as not being any more elections, I don't know about all that. I know that the Trump administration, in a sense, is hoping that it's no more elections, but I don't know how they'll be able to pull that off. HDLC, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. It says, this fool is Roland Martin with a law degree. Oh, yes, they birds of a feather. You can believe that. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well. Mike Nice says, more blame for us Monday. Yep. Abby Chill says, Democrats practice democracy when they stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders. Yeah, but Bernie Sanders too, you know, instead of going to being independent, he went to be a Democrat, and he probably should have stayed an independent. Where is Bernie Sanders? Haven't seen or heard a lot from him lately. Jerron, how you doing? Says, you are talking about an attorney that often tells you he will lie for the Democrat Party. He's a paid mouthpiece himself. It seems like, right? Gary, how you doing? Says, Kamala would have been a total disaster. Yeah, and I told y'all I'm reading her book. I'm reading it kind of slow. So I started reading it again. Yeah, she's just kind of on the same old, you know, type of thing. Very pro-Israel. I would say that. That trying to get at me. Every chapter that I'm reading, she mentions Israel. Kira says, listening to Joy and Roly Poly is like listening to two Charlie Brown teachers. Wah, 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 wah. Michelle, how you doing? Says, hey, everyone, I'm late to the program. Who are we talking about? The Defiant Lawyer. He basically was blaming young black men, especially. Mentioned the 2 million black voters that voted for Trump. Says that, guess they helped him implement the white supremacist agenda against us. So yeah, Easy says he sounds like America's favorite. You know what? Sharecropper brother. Carrie says they think that we have a plantation mindset. That's why they keep dictating to us. Well, overall, we're going to be honest. We kind of do. A lot of us are saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to head out. I'm leaving the plantation, right? A lot of us are starting to wake up, and they do not want that. They want a bunch of mindless Frankensteins. Which way do I vote? Which way do I? That's what they want. They don't want people to wake up and leave the plantation, right? Share Girl, how you doing? Says, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to rise without them. Let them look silly. The separation is real. Yeah, they're going to look silly. Because, I mean, how do you get people back on the plantation? Will some of them, us, and I'm saying collectively, go back? Yeah, probably. Because like I said, and I was saying this yesterday, unfortunately, with these politicians, whether it was Biden, who was so far to the left, and I got Trump, who's so far to the right, some people might go back because they're like, I don't like all that's going on. But it's like, when are we going to get somebody in the middle, you know? Renee says, talking about the benign neglect causes them to have to admit it. Yeah, and they don't want to do that because they like to bring up these all lives programs and things that the Democrats are doing. But that's why, as Dr. Claude Anderson says, stop calling ourselves minority people of color, because when we get lumped in with everybody, we almost always, right? Never get anything specifically. And I would say always, we never get anything specifically for us. Everybody else gets what there is to get. Lady Diana, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope that you are well. Let me skip down a little bit. Byron, how you doing? Says great podcast always. Mutual. Thank you. Thank you. Thank God it's over. I hope I said that right. So you have a whole bunch of scriptures. Okay, got you. I ain't gonna be able to look all them up. You got like 10 of them. Lady Diana says Kamala Harris was not gonna do a darn thing for us. She said it right off the bat. Yeah, and she never really said she was gonna do anything. Even when she saw she was up against it with black voters, she, again, the black man plan, but that was for everybody too, and everybody was gonna be benefiting from that, like they always do. Shannon says, I got a call from now. I'm doing the election and come early. If you ask me, I'm not going to vote for her. I said, why should I vote for somebody who don't give a damn about black people? Yeah, I bet that was a very short conversation, huh? M, how you doing? It says, I knew which lawyer you were talking about after you said hello. He and his bootleg lawyer. What? Is that his daughter? I thought that was his wife. Is that his daughter? Oh. Anyway, said he and his bootleg lawyer daughter work hard for their biscuits. I thought that was his wife. Okay. Damon says those folks trying to draw FBAs into their foolishness. Get the F out of here. Yep. Nope. A lot of us just ain't doing it no more. D-Mac, how you doing? Hope you're well. Easy says the bootlegs are a problem. They think they can control our vote. Well, they used to. They used to control our vote. Because again, like I said, I don't care for Roland like that, but I never would call him stupid. He's not stupid at all. Roland is very smart. And at one point in time, he was considered to be the voice, if you will, of Black America, right? He was saying some good stuff. Then people started to wake up. Now, admittedly, there's a lot of other people who were kind of already awake to him and his foolishness, but a lot of people weren't. But then when he got to literally, busting a jig for Hillary, and he got caught, I'm gonna say allegedly because he disputes it, but it's out there, giving Hillary some answers, him and Donna Brazile, to the debate and all that. So when people start hearing that kind of stuff, and I think, as I always say, when he tried to ambush Dr. Umar Johnson on his show, I think a lot of people was like, why would you do that? What are you doing? So yeah. Kevin says the Jews received reparation also to help them. Black people didn't receive their reparation. That was the game changer for them. Yep, absolutely. And there that fool is talking about, just like them. It's like, why are you correlating anything that we're doing to them? Kind of makes you wonder, huh? Roz, how you doing? Says, why doesn't he scold the whites and Latinos who voted for Trump? They were the ones who put him in office. The black people who voted for Trump weren't enough to move the needle. Totally agree with you. Because, again, they're trying to get a hold of the black mindset again. They, for the most part, they used to it. They don't anymore. We've, educated ourselves about the Boule, right? The Divine Nine and all these other people who were told that they, again, were the upper echelon. Even President Biden says, oh, I know who the Divine Nine is. I know not to mess with them. So he even knew how powerful they are and were in the black community. But they're starting to lose that, right? So now they got to get out there and try to discredit this imposter pro-black media, or pro-black media imposters is what he called us. Basically saying don't listen to them. Rome, how are you doing? Let's see. Easy says Van Jones is a black Zionist. Is that what it is? Okay. D-Max says that dude is a buster. I was watching him one day and thought it was a good idea, but then I continued watching and realized he's on that Democrat time. Oh, absolutely. A big time and unapologetic. Brother Abdul, how you doing? Says, have a nice life in a country that you would die for. Who are you talking to? TY, how you doing? It says exactly. Sherry Rice, she clapping. Original Skywalker, how you doing? Says, don't even see the spending power you have. You too busy being black and emotional, not seeing your power to take over 1.7 trillion than anyone else. I mean, I totally agree with you. Totally. You're not getting any argument with me out of that at all. We do. We have a lot of money in our community. We give it all away, and we are told just vote your way out of it. Just cry and whine and march and stomp and romp. But it's like, nah, we can withhold our money. Say, I'm not spending any money with anything that is against us. And then for sure, those corporations and things, because everybody in Washington is a corporate, right? They would go and say, hey, Trump, black people ain't spending money with us no more because they don't like A, B, C, and D, or whoever it is, Kamala Biden, whoever goes in the White House. They don't like what you're doing. And so they're not spending money. And hey, that affects us. And that's the less money we could give y'all, whatever the case is. And things will turn around. But we won't do it. We still hoping and wishing and praying somehow that they're going to do us right. And they're not. Yes, Brother Damon says you have to be ready. Don't wait to get ready. Shout out to Sugar Free. Who else haven't I seen? Let me just go down. Queen Adaya, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. Brother Dom, my triple OG moderator. Hope you're having a wonderful day. D-Mac says he's on the oak tree. The oak tree. He just says Bernie, another cosplaying ultra Zionist. You think Bernie is? He doesn't seem like it, but then again, who knows, right? Because he's very against what's going on in Palestine. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't follow him like that. Just reading some of your comments. Miss Tiffany, how you doing? Says the only people to blame is the DNC and the Dems in charge. Absolutely. Byron, how you doing? Says vote for who? That is a good question because nobody there in the White House cares for us. Now you're talking about state and local. I mean, they don't really care much either, but they have a direct effect on our lives. Like I said, your DAs, your judges, your sheriffs, your city council, your mayors, all of them have a direct effect on your life. The governor, we should vote for show up to vote for those because the governor is the president of the state. The mayor is the president of the city. So we should vote for them. Because the mayor controls the police and, all of that, sit on the city council with the rest of the city council members that are assigned to a district or whatever it is. So, yeah, those are important. So, yeah, because even now with a lot of stuff that Trump is trying to do, those people are stopping him, whether they're filing lawsuits and things like that, basically saying you can't come into our city because the governor, the president cannot usurp the governor of the state. Now, on federal things, yes. But a lot of things he cannot. So that's why it's important for us to show up to the state and local elections. Now, I can't tell you who to vote for where you live because I don't know the issues and the people there. But yeah. Little Big Bro, how you doing? Says join the Republican Party isn't the answer. Nope, I didn't say that. I'm nonpartisan. I don't belong to any party. And we should all be nonpartisan because nobody should assume your vote, right? Which is why Democrats know, oh, black people going to show up. They always show up. Matter of fact, we ain't even got to promise them nothing. Did y'all get any promises of strippers last election season? You did not. Now, I know they gave you Megan Thee Stallion and all them at Kamala's rallies, but you didn't get no strippers to the polls. Did you get no voting, no bucking? Did you hear about a fish fry? See, they're not even really promising that low-hanging fruit stuff anymore to us. They're like, because I know they'll show up. But see, now they're going to have to work for it because even now with all the foolishness they got going on, they're not even really mentioning Black Americans at all. So it remains to be seen. M says, he's totally the king of cringe. I promise you he will never be seen at a debate. I got that. Justin, how you doing? Says, sometimes people just need to have their backs against the wall in order to get their black people. You said, mine's right. Group economics and circle our wagons. I totally agree with you. But see, we're afraid to risk it all. That's why when I hear the term, we are not like our ancestors, it's like, you're damn right we're not. Because at least our ancestors weren't afraid to risk anything. They were like, well, I bet if it means I got to walk to work, not catch this funky bus or whatever that's going to have us sit in the back or stand up when white folks get on the bus, then we just won't catch the bus. We'll walk and do whatever we got to do, with carpool or whatever. So we are not our ancestors because in a sense, we're weak. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. Not all of us, but our ancestors, they knew how to get on one page and say, okay, bet this is what we're doing. Now, yeah, they got us in, civil rights, which is a false idea, but at least they were able to do something collectively. Us, we want to argue about the time of day at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's crazy. Brother Steven says, people will wake up, unfortunately, Some will become cemented to the plantation for lack of understanding. You ain't lying. Flintwater, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says Dems told us no vote is a Trump vote. They sure did. It says, what about the no votes on Charlie Kirk's memorial, let alone the ones for it? Dems are in real trouble. Yeah, a lot of Democrats voted for it or said, oh, well, I'm going to abstain, right? Not going to vote. So a no vote is kind of like, you know, because if you were dead set against it, why not just vote against it and say, hell no, I'm voting against it. So you're absolutely right. And we were told that a no vote is a vote for Trump. No, a no vote is a no vote, right? Because it could be the same thing. A no vote could have been a vote for Kamala. But that's the silliness. One box, how you doing? Hope that you're well. Black Rose, what's going on? She says first and second generation immigrants have shown they are dangerous for FBA and the U.S. citizens. I would agree with that. Toxic MVP, how you doing? Says Dimitri. No, not me for 2028. I'm telling you, I'll step outside on the balcony and be up. I wouldn't want the headache. Because, no. But thank you for thinking of me. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Says peace and love, family. Says that guy enjoys his Democrat check. Says that you are not getting, so he will go to the mat to defend their policy of nothing for blacks. Yeah. And he's not saying what we were going to get for voting for the Democrats. We just supposed to do it. You're just supposed to show up and vote for the Democrats just because. Because I said it, Roland said it, Joy said it, Angela Rye said it. Just do it, right? It's like, all right, but what do I get for it? Do I get the moist butter biscuit that you're getting? No, and you're not even going to share it with me. You know what I mean? So it's like, like you said, you're not even telling us why. What's in it for me with them? That is a business term. With them. What's in it for me to do that? We should always be asking that about a lot of things. What's in it for me? Oh, nothing. Brother Reddy says, I agree. Roland is not stupid. You stupid. Now you stupid. You said, I agree. Roland is not stupid. He's real stupid. You better stop. Polo Styles, how you doing? Said that attorney said this would be worse than Jim Crow. He's a shield. I mean, I guess we'd have to find out, right? But if they really cared about us not going through Jim Crow, then they should have told Kamala, hey, stop all that damn giggling, okay? Stop having these twerkers at the rallies and talk about something that everybody could use, right? But do something for Black people instead of sitting up there, cackling. They didn't do that. So if we go back, Jim Crow ain't never went nowhere. The Jim Crow's never gone anywhere. Now, has it gone dormant? Yeah, sure. But Jim Crow ain't never went nowhere. Just stop. Jim Crow has always been around. Okay? And it was there when Joe Biden was in office for the 50-some years he's been in office. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? And then Flintwater says, we can't all be comfortable, then we can all be uncomfortable. No Black agenda, no vote. How many times do we have to prove that? Repeatedly. So they stop playing with us, right? One box says, I like listening to Roland periodically. So many come short, but there is usually another piece to add to an issue. Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to Roland. He doesn't like me at all. That's fine. But I don't really listen to him. I see clips here and there, like people post, but I don't actively go search him out. He's blocked me. I think on Twitter for sure, or X. And I learned that he blocked me on Instagram, which I didn't even know he blocked me because somebody tried to send me a reel of his and I couldn't find it. So I guess it means that you're blocked. I said, oh, well, it's nice for him to think of me like that. Easy says, D, you hear on the news about the Haitian lady? Oh, man. Yes, who pew-pewed her 4 children in the car at the fuel pump, unalive, 2 in critical condition. The 2 oldest, 13 and 10, I believe, are both deceased. I think 13 and then maybe 1 younger. But yeah, definitely 2 of them. Why? Now, I saw a clip. She was on some paternity test show or something with some foolishness about this baby daddy, that baby daddy. And yeah, I don't know if they found the motive, but they said her bail is $14 million. Basically, you ain't never getting out, heifer. Never. But yeah, I don't know why she would do that to her babies, but it's crazy. EW, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Hope you're having a great day. Sister Shirley, we're talking about attorney Augustus Corbett, the Defiant Lawyers. That's his name. A DSB said, I knew Obama was full of doo-doo from the start. He confirmed my suspicions when he said he's the president of America, not black people. Yeah. And most of us said, oh, okay, you know. D-Mac says, what we want, what we need, soul power. Absolutely. Let's see who else is on here that I have not seen. And Facts Not Feelings, I read yours. It says, notice he's fighting for equality while other groups are fighting for superiority in education, jobs, and resources over us. If we follow his direction, we will always be behind. You ain't lying. And they don't want us to be equal to them. But see, that's why it's a false idea. Because as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, why would the slave master make you equal? Why would he make the slave equal to him? Then where is the I'm the master and servant dichotomy? So it's a false idea. But like you said, we're trying to I just wants to be like you. And they're like, we don't want to be like you. In fact, we're trying to rule this whole thing, right? So yeah, Brother Stanley, how you doing? Says, so black men are being blamed for something again. What else is new? Well, how's a black man doing it? Just want to point that out. There's a black man that was doing that, right? He says, parents, black parents, talk to your children, and tell them about white supremacy and all this other stuff. It's like basically what he's saying is your black sons are stupid. And you need to teach them to listen to me, okay? Don't listen to the pro-black imposters. Listen to me. It's pretty much what he's saying. Marion's Crown, how you doing? Says Bernie is a curious case. He is. He definitely is. Speed. He says black people spend 97% of their money with the people who give them 90% of their problems. Come on now. Come on. President 48, the United States, how you doing? It says the presidential election campaign of 2024 had no reward or prize for black men to put Trump, Harris in the White House Oval Office at all. So blaming black men for the outcome is stupid and a word that we can't say on here, but yeah, that part. Sherman, how you doing? It says blacks are coming off the plantation. Thank you for more information, Demetrio. It is my pleasure, and thank you for being here. Frankie said both parties are BS anyway. Yep. Tim Jack, how you doing? D-Mac says, ma'am, no Diddy, 50 months for that. Uh-oh. Yeah, Diddy. That's Diddy, boy. Did he do it to himself? Yes, he did. But you know what? I don't want to get into that because I'll probably get in trouble and not in the way you think. Brother Damon says, rest in eternal power to those young angels. Yes, like what the hell is going on with people where you do that to your babies? And then they said she's the one that called the police. So it's like, what are you doing? DSB says, I remember it was a time not too long ago. They deleted our people for voting. Now they're begging us to vote. Hell no, we're not voting ever again. Well, we should vote in some things, right? I'm not telling us not to vote. Just make sure that we make an informed decision to vote. Stop voting for her because my mama and them was Democrats and they mama and them was Democrats. Vote because we're going to be getting something out of it, regardless of who it is, right? Renee says, at this point, we have nothing to lose. There you go. Diane says, facts, Demetra. Brother Abdul says, I don't see y'all don't have a physical fighting to these racists in America. All I see is a bunch of complaining. Why would we physically fight them? If you don't mind me asking, what's in it for us to physically fight them? What they gonna lock us up? We could fight them with our money. See, ain't nobody be trying to out there be fighting with people. You know, we're dignified. We're not out there fighting with people. We don't need to do that. See, if we have some sense and held our money in our pockets, we wouldn't have to be talking about getting physical with nobody. So that doesn't make us a coward. It actually makes us wise. Because for one thing, we are outnumbered. So who we really going to be fighting like that? Fight with your money. Can't nobody make you spend money nowhere, right? So to me, I'm just asking you a question. Why would it be easier to get out there to fight than to keep your money with your own people and not give it to them? If you don't mind me asking. Brother Reddy says, Van Jones, a.k.a. Vanity Jones. Now another Vanity, a.k.a. Van Latham, has joined CNN to yell emotional Democratic talking points. I didn't know that. I see clips here and there of, was it Abby, what's her name, Phillips? Is that the show? Whatever, but yeah, that's crazy. Sister Shirley says white supremacy wasn't offering our ancestors the bag. Now a few of us are getting the bag. Flint Water says New York City Democrats tried to make it so illegal immigrants can vote in municipal elections after being here 30 days, and the United States Supreme Court struck it down. Yep, I remember that. And Queen Adia says Shalom, all unable to respond now. Not sure what that means, but Brother Abdul says I don't believe in nonviolence. Well, what? Listen, as I saw one brother say, and I'm gonna talk about the story. Then get out there and jump it off then. What you waiting on? Who you waiting on? Go on out there into the public square and set it off. You don't need our permission to do. Go do the voodoo you do so well. Who you waiting on, brother? You don't need us, to tell you to get behind you, as they said, in the field of dreams with Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come. Maybe if you jump it off, everybody else will join you, but we won't know until you set it off. Hampton, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. This is very interesting. $7.21. I'll take it anyway. Thank you so much. Says, family, if they don't understand quid pro quo, says tell them to kick rocks. This is 2026 midterm elections. They need us, but we don't need them. That is very true. What's in it for me? Give and get, right? I do something for you. You do something for me. Now I keep doing for you when you say, well, thank you. Here's your I voted sticker. There you go. You like that? Now go post it all on social media. I voted. And matter of fact, change your profile picture and put the I voted, right? And then say, I voted for nothing. But thank you. D. Brown, how you doing? Says, even if every black person voted for Kamala, it said it wasn't enough. Yeah, because a lot of the other people voted for Trump. But they never want to, just like black people, we get the blame for everything. It's crazy. Easy says, I don't watch dude. He says, I think, man, I don't watch dude cry the most between, or you don't know which dude rather, cries the most between Van Jones and Kyrie Gibson. Yeah, and it sounds like he got into some foolishness happened at his house with some dogs. I heard a little bit about it. Don't follow much, but yeah, they do be crying. Brother Perry, how you doing? Long time no see. I hope that you're doing well. Team Jesus, how you doing? He says, I see Demetrius back to pandering for Trump. I'm thinking, hold on a second. I'm thinking 5 times before I speak because I wanted to say something and it wasn't going to be nice. So I won't say it. I won't say it. Unless you say something else, then I'm going to say it. Okay? So don't say anything else ridiculous and I won't say it. Bakari, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. I see you said something else. It says, Dimitri, you sound like a far right wing. I'll call you Dimitri Kirk and call your Mama Kirk. Okay? Call your Mama Kirk. And all of that, okay? Me and your mama got the same last name, Kirk. Now say something else. Anyway, Eddie, how you doing? Hope you're well. Thank you, Bakari. Sister Sherry says, I like these new young people. I see them on TikTok speaking out about a lot of things that's going on and they're not going along to get along. And I like that. Yeah, they not us, okay? They don't have nothing to lose. Think about it. What do the younger people have to lose? They can't buy a home, can't hardly keep a car. The jobs are neither here or there. What do they have to lose? Everything's dried up. They don't have anything to lose. So they're like, I'm going to say what I want to say, right? And that's not good for the oppressor because they need them on board to continue on with the brainwashing. So, yeah. Let's see. Jacoby, how you doing? He says, what makes us so egregious is that they want us to suffer so they can benefit. These folks are sickening. Yeah, and we keep on doing it. We keep on doing it. We need to stop. Thank you, Brother Stanley. Bakari says the Black Democrats are sellouts. And a lot of them don't even know that they are, but a lot of them know that they are. They don't care. Easy says D. She says she did the devil's work, a.k.a. YT. And who was that? Because, my mind be everywhere. Albert Chill says the battlefield is more mental than physical. That is very true. Yep. Bakari says you got to struggle to win. Fred Hampton. Yep. You know, and the struggle would be less if we would just listen to the things that Fred Hampton was saying and everybody before and after, right? Like we just won't do it. We keep saying, oh, please, 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 massa, please don't treat us bad. If I vote for you, will you treat me nice? You know, hold your money. Or you can do like Brother Abdul and go out there and jump it off. Easy says, well, a warfare rather is not physical anymore. Nah, keep your money. When we want to have that conversation, then and we actually do it, we gonna be all right. Renee says they drop on us like they've done in the past. Yeah, they like to do that to us a lot. Silky Danielle, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. Lance says we aren't outnumbered, never have been. The 13% of the population is a lie. We are 13. We're 13% when I was born in 63. That has been played on us, give or take, depending on who you ask. I've done the census, so I know that number. It is around there, but even if it's a little more than 13%, would you admit that we are outnumbered by the oppressor? Would you concede that? Stanley says he's waiting for the green light to turn blue. Oh, D-Mac says, I see us on the block beefing over parking spots. Come on now. Who's making sure the kids are studying and putting the phones down during family time? That part. Facts Not Feeling says, and the Chinese have a lot of special capability weapons waiting on the white supremacists in America. If you saw the military parade, you know what I'm talking about. I saw it. I'm like, man, they ain't missing a step at all. All right, let's see. Black Rose says Trump truly needs to do a job creation. Well, he's going the opposite way. Okay. He's doing job uncreation. Ocean View Coffee Shop. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Shan says the most saddest thing I've ever seen is when the police shoot and kill black people for no reason at all. That's a lot, right? And they lie and all kind of stuff. Okay, got you, Easy. Got you. Told you, I get up very early, so I'm really about an hour or two away from my bedtime, to keep it real with you, okay? Anyway, Flint Water says cash rules. Them folks keep ours with us. Yeah, they don't like us, but they like us just enough to keep our money, right? When we start talking about separating the money, that's when they gonna lose their minds. But I mean, taking it for example, okay, white folks are mad with Netflix. I say maybe white people and conservatives, they're mad with Netflix over the LGBTQ stuff, and it sounds like Netflix wouldn't fire a staffer that said something bad about Charlie Kirk, so they're boycotted. It seems like it's cost them about $15 billion. Somebody else that they're going after, and I get mad every time I see it, not because of Netflix, I don't care about that, but I get mad because I'm like, they are really organizing on these companies. Yeah, we did it to target whatever, to help white women, but I see them boycotting and getting what they want, because it sounds like Netflix is getting rid of some of those LGBTQ shows because they're like, hey, it was all cool until it started costing us $15 billion, right? I'm like, why can't we do that? We are one of the biggest consumers, and we have nothing to show for it. We consume, we don't produce. So why can't we boycott? It's sad, actually. I don't know why we can't do it. Lord Flawless, how you doing? Says they use white tea for white instead of saying white. Yeah, I knew that, but in my mind, I'm thinking YouTube and some other stuff, right? But yeah, I understand that. Cloudness, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm almost out of time. Easy says D saying white tea fast. Them folks, you got it. I got it. Sister Sunlight says I've been boycotting Starbucks and drinking local donut coffee shops. Yeah, I don't drink at Starbucks at all. I like to make my own coffee at home, and I'll go other places that are not problematic, but mostly I make my coffee at home. Rome, he says Trump stimulus. He keeps saying he's gonna do one, but he ain't talked about one lately. He said something about $10 billion to the farmers, because they farms are just rotting because he didn't chase off all their workers, right? The immigrants and stuff. So yeah, if he does a stimulus, I'm sure people will smile for a second, but he got to do more than a stimulus. D-Max says they want to drain us vampire spirit. Yeah, and then we be like, so anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Please come and see me again tomorrow. So y'all gonna see me 3 times. Okay. Donovan and I will do our podcast. I'll upload it about 2. Then you're going to see me before that on the African Diaspora News Channel at 11 Central Time in the morning, okay? For 30 minutes, please show up and see me. Then you're going to see me again at 5 p.m. Central Time tomorrow with Donovan. So y'all see me 3 times. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but, you know, as my brother says, I'm working harder than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest, okay? Anyway, it's been my pleasure. I love you all too. See you tomorrow. Hey, Justin, how you doing? Peace.